This is a simple strategy that I use to get my first $10K a month. And the next year, we're gonna do way more than double. You'd all be so surprised. I'm actually studying. I'm doing law and I'm able to run 2 businesses on the side. And the reason being, and the secret being, somewhere in the end of 2020, I had applied for my first job, which was selling for a gym. And I was so shocked that they picked me because I was like, oh, there might be a lot of competition. Let me just see where this goes. And in the surprise that they picked me, I was so overwhelmed in the interview, like my hands were shaking so much. I had to hide my hands under the desk because I didn't want the guy to see the fact that I'm shaking so much. And my lips were quivering because I was a child. I just didn't know how the world worked. I'd never been through anything traumatic or difficult or challenged myself or anything even remotely close to this up until that point. And it just got so overwhelming that I was just like, you know what, if I just get this job, I'll be good. Okay? And the salary was probably like 12K a month or something like that. Back in the day, it was mind-blowing to me. I was like, whoa, okay, in my age category I'm rich and stuff like that. Now it went on well for about 2 months, and this one time there was this lady who came in that had a lot of complaints about a trainer and the fact that he's been acting inappropriately with her, and I had to just be calm under that situation. She was shouting at me. I didn't even know what this was. I was a little child that just got the job, and basically I just ended up apologizing. Okay, and when the manager came through, he, the trainer, as well as the person that owned the gym, 3 of them cornered me to the side of a room and started yelling at me for the fact that I apologized and made them look like they actually did some fault when nothing really ended up happening. And this ended up in a huge fight and typical office politics where it's like, you know, you can't speak the person, you just do your job and go back home and things like that, to a point where it just left me so empty. Like, it was my first job and I was just like, listen, so is this going to be my career? Am I going to be this guy who basically just is going to hate his job and wait for the weekends, drink? That can't be me. And it just ended up transforming my whole outlook. Now, keep in mind that there are a lot of people that think that they're too good for a job. They think that working a 9 to 5 is something that is slave work. They never want to do that and stuff like that. I'm not one of them. I really love my employees. I have a killer team. I make sure that they have fun in the company. But the point being, that first job killed my ambition like crazy. Okay, it killed my ambition to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't even know if I want to work anymore. I might end up doing art and stay homeless. But that's not what happened. So soon after, I started my first company, which was basically e-commerce. Okay, I spent all the money that I had, which was about 25 to 30,000 in total. And guess what? None of the money I made back. We didn't even break even. It ended up in a loss. And that killed my perception of it even more. Now, I was at this point where I was like, you know what? I've tried a job, I've tried a business. I don't really know what else is there to do anymore. I had this really hard conversation with my parents where I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want a career anymore. I might just end up becoming a fighter or do something like that because I can't live this normal life. And it created such a void deep in my heart because, like, I didn't have the ambition. Like, I knew I wanted to be something, but I just didn't have that ambition because a bad job and a failed business just ruined everything for me. Now, it got to a point where I was like, you know what, we have to do something or my career is going to be nothing. I'm going to be nobody. It got so much into my head that I was like, you know what, I wouldn't actively go ahead and, you know what I mean? But if I died that day, I'd just be like, my soul is freed. I'll be happy. Something happens, if the roof falls down on me, I'd be relieved. And it's not a good thought for a young kid to have, but it was just a reality because I had really tried and it just was not it for me. So I started my first service-based business. Okay, I was like, listen, I know sales because I had done this for the gyms. How about I just start something in the same industry for something that I know? I ran ads for gyms. Okay, and the first year there was 1 month, which was the month of February, that we did around 80,000 in profit. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. And keep in mind, this is after months of failing. One of the months we did something good, and up until that point it was just failures after failures, and I kept going because I was like, okay, this is going somewhere. And we did that profit, and guess what? Few months after that, I had a partner that quit. I had another partner that came in that didn't work out. And it came to a point where I was like, listen, this is not working either. So life had beat me down 3 different times. And it just was so overwhelming because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know if business or a job is for me. And I don't even know what else option do I have. Now, fast forward, here we are. One of my companies is going to reach $25,000 a month by the end of the year. And I'm 22 years of age. Okay. Now, this had to break even. And there was one thing that was missing in all the stories that I told you, where I quit too soon, which I'm man enough to admit, and the fact that I didn't learn enough skills. The fact of the matter is, the e-commerce business failed because I didn't learn how to run ads. The service-based ads for gyms business failed because I didn't learn the fact that there are partners and I needed to cater to their interests as well. I didn't know how to work with partners. I thought my sales skills were good. They weren't. And here we are. I own 2 companies that collectively do about, I'm not going to tell you collectively, but one of them is going to do about $25,000 a month with the end of the year. That's the huge milestone that I've been targeting, and here we are. Now, after life has beat me down so many different businesses and jobs, I'm going to tell you how I got here, and it's not as complicated as you think. Okay, it's really, really simple. Number 1 is, if you're getting started, service-based businesses are the gold mine. Okay, listen, I've told this a million times, but I'll tell it again. You need a way to fail. Okay, a way to fail where even if you lose money, it doesn't matter. Even if you lose time, it doesn't matter. That's how you learn. You're not going to be good in the start. Let's admit it. There's going to be a period where you're going to suck. And the sooner you can get past that, there's more skills that you can learn, the better you can get. And service-based businesses let you do that. So it doesn't matter what service you're selling. It could be Zapier automations. It could be ads. It could be editing. It could be anything. Okay, you need to find a single service that you can learn, and in the start you need to do that yourself. Okay, my first $10,000 online came, I'm talking about dollars, which is about 8 lakhs in rupees. It came because I knew what skills I had to learn. I knew how to fail to learn these skills. Okay, I needed to learn sales, I needed to learn video editing, I needed to learn how to make ads, things like these, and that's what helped me get to my first step. Now, number 2 is keep everything damn simple. Listen, $10,000 a month sounds all fancy, but it's nothing. It's entry level for businesses. And I'm talking about revenue here. You need to always keep things simple. One acquisition channel and one way to fulfill. Okay? Have one thing that you, as a service that you provide, and one way to get clients. We stuck to cold emailing, that's what we have gotten good at, and that ends up in a sales call where we pitch them into the thing. And there's only one thing that we do, which is either podcast post-production and distribution, or basically growing gyms sales teams. That's essentially what we do. Both my businesses, that's what we offer, that's what we do. Slowly you can introduce the concept of upsell, downsell, cross-sell and things like that, but up until that point, that's all that you have to focus on, one thing. Now, 3 is make routines for your staff and make it easy for them to work with you. Listen, at any point, they need to know what their roles are in the company, okay? They cannot just be lost. They can't be just out there in the wild where you're paying them. Okay, even if they're contractors or they're employees, you need to have systems in place. You need to have checklists. You need to have to-do lists. Everything is a checklist away. Onboarding is a checklist. Basically, fulfilling is a checklist. Getting new hires is a checklist. Everything is a checklist. Figure out the checklist. Make systems. That's the 3rd one. And 4th is, you'd all be so surprised, I'm actually studying. I'm doing law and I'm able to run 2 businesses on the side. And the reason being, and the secret being, I delegate, automate, outsource and eliminate. What this means is that the things that I don't want to do or is taking up too much of my time, I'll give it to my staff. Delegation. The things that can be done by AI, I give it to AI. Why would I do that myself? I'll let tech handle that. The things that my staff can't do and AI can't do, I'm going to outsource it to people outside the company. And 4th, the things that you don't need, eliminate it. It's that simple. This is a simple strategy that I use to get my first $10K a month online, and this was done last year when I was 21. Now I'm 22. This year we almost doubled it, and the next year we're gonna do way more than double because I'm not gonna have college anymore. So yeah, that's the simple way that we reached this milestone. And a lot of you are going to be surprised that I'm actually studying. I'm doing law, by the way, and this is just one of my many ventures. And yeah, this is basically how I got to this point. And please don't be fooled that you cannot study, work, and build a business. You definitely can. The last point is going to help you a lot. So yes, these 4 things are going to help you reach your first $10K a month online in India.